Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. My name is Anthony Moreland and we're back again. We come here every Wednesday night, me and Michelle, in our amazing community to help everybody learn how to be disruptive in their businesses. Wherever you are in the world, if you're in the new Age ARIIX family, we can definitely help you as well. So join us next week if you're free. If you're free, join us every Wednesday. Hey, let's help each other grow in this amazing business. And like always, I love letting women go first. And but before that, we love letting somebody practice sharing their 2 to 3 minute story. So with that being said, instead of just throwing somebody on the spot and they be a little nervous, do we have any volunteers out there of anybody want to, practice on their 2 to 3 minute story? Because that's what part of the business. If not, we just have to pick somebody. So any volunteers?
Who's been working on their story?
Has anybody been working on their story?
I know Miss Melissa has. She shared, what was that, 2 weeks ago, Melissa?
2 weeks ago, we had wonderful Lance last week. Anybody else willing to share their 2 to 3 minute story?
Well, before we do that, Lance, and I just want to tell Melissa how much improvement I have seen in your confidence level with your lives and doing all your Facebook stuff and your story. I remember your first video a couple of weeks ago where, it was your first live and you were scared of it and weren't sure about, what buttons to push and how to make it work right. And you were like flustered, but you did it anyways. And now you're like out there doing your workout and you got your live going and you're chatting with people. And that just like ties so perfect into the training that we're going to do tonight. So I just want to commend you on that and say, way to go for pushing through the challenges and the butterflies and the technical issues, to get you over that hump of, it's just a Facebook Live, like whatever.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
I promise you that's how I was. People always say, well, you speak so well. I'm like, growing up, if it was speech class or it was a presentation in front of people, it wasn't me. Like I would get nervous. That wasn't. Now if you show me something with numbers or computers or math or anything like that, I was perfect. But when it came like to speaking, I can speak to the team and I can get everybody hyped before the game and before the basketball game and all of that. But when it came in the classroom and it's just me and I had to do a speech, it didn't always work out very well. So Melissa, with repetition, I want to throw that out. You would always get better. And just always remember, if you share from the heart, it's always going to sound good. I promise you. I promise. Just share from the heart. That's all I do every time. I share from the heart. And hey, the right words will reach the right person at the right time. Always remember that's the way I believe when I'm sharing. Now everybody I talk to probably won't, but it's that one person out there that's waiting on you. So
exactly. Thank you.
So, well, it looks like we're gonna have to pick, Michelle.
We're gonna have to pick, huh?
So
all right. Well,
we don't have to pick. We don't have no volunteers. Lance and Melissa already did theirs. They already practiced with us, and so is somebody else. So who would you like to pick, Michelle? I'll let you pick. I picked Lance last week.
You did. I guess I will volunteer tonight.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, not because I want to hear myself talk, but because I want to share kind of 2 different ways to share your story. So sometimes we have somebody who is interested in product only, right? Like maybe that they have a health concern. And so we want to tailor our story to that. And sometimes we have somebody who is more interested in the business side, and we want to connect with them on that. And we have stories on either side, right? You have a personal transformation or experience that you've had with the products, and you have personal transformation or experience that you've had with the business. And so sometimes I tailor my story differently for my audience. And so I'm going to do two quick little ones, one geared towards either side, if that's all right. You guys good with that? So that you can kind of see same person, same experience, like same story, but different focus. All right. So hello, my name is Michelle Blanchard, and I am a portrait photographer. I'm a mom to two little kiddos. They are busy, they are active, we have a busy life. And about a year ago, I found myself in a place where I was having a hard time keeping up with them. I was tired, I didn't feel good. We had gone through a challenging year, and I had put on a lot of weight. I found that my energy was just way down. Falling asleep at night when I'm putting my kids to bed, could hardly make it through the day. And a friend of mine shared with me about a challenge that she was getting ready to do. And I knew, I was in that place where I just knew that something had to change. And so I reached out and asked for some information. I said, what is it? What's it all about? And she shared with me about some really awesome products that they were using for this challenge. And I said, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical, but whatever, I'll give it a try. And so I got a pack of products that was like the best value for me, because I'm a gal who likes a good deal. So I wanted to get the best value for my money. And so I got this pack of products, and I noticed that within just a couple of days that I was starting to feel better. Like the brain fog I had was going away, and I was more alert. My energy was improving. And then I started to notice that the weight started coming off. And that was a big deal for me, because I was born with a dislocated hip. I've had 4 reconstructive hip surgeries, and I've always struggled with exercise and athletics because of pain and discomfort. And as I went along, I started noticing that not only was the weight coming off and I wasn't exercising, but I was starting to notice that I was experiencing less pain in my joints. And, fast forward a year, and I'm in a place where now I'm running and I'm doing 2-a-day workouts. And that's been a massive lifestyle change. And so if there is something in your life, physically, your health, that you're wanting to change, I can assure you that we have something here that can help you. Are you an athlete that wants to get fit? We have stuff for that. Are you somebody who needs to reduce inflammation? We got some phenomenal stuff for that. Are you somebody who just wants to get healthy and put good stuff in your body and support your immune system? Got you covered. Like, this is just an amazing company that provides really great, clean products. And so I would encourage you to find the pack that meets your personal needs, identify what your goals are and what you want for your physical health transformation, and then get started with that so you get the best deal and the discounts. So whatever questions you have, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Okay, so that's the first way, right? Where we're sharing about, experience, turning point. You've got your, what changed, my friend shared with me. And then you have, the transformation and how it's changed now, and, what I'm able to do. And you can share a little bit about, the products if you want to with that. But so that's kind of on the product side of things. Now, here's the other one that's for someone who's a little bit more business minded. So, hi, my name is Michelle Blanchard, and I am a portrait photographer. I am a work from home, stay at home mom. I have 2 kids, and my husband works a very crazy, weird schedule. And I have always, since I had babies, I've been home with them. I don't have much of a community around me because I stay at home, and my only interaction really is with my clients. And so I run my portrait business out of my home, and it's a lot of work. Like, I'm the marketing department. I am the designer. I am the accountant. I do all the taxes. I have to make sure that we have products and supplies. If I need to do an ad campaign, I'm the one that designs it. And then I have to do all the Facebook management and all of the email stuff. I'm the janitor. Like, I do everything. And I have found over the course of 10 years being in business for myself, and I'm by myself in a lot of ways. And that's hard. That's a lot of work. And then, last year about this time, a friend of mine shared about a transformation challenge that they were doing. And I was struggling to keep up, like with my business, with my family, with my kids. My energy was down. I had a hard time focusing on what I needed to do. So she shared with me just about the products they were using for this challenge. And at that time, I didn't know that there was a possibility for a second stream of income. I didn't know that I needed it, to be honest with you. And then I started on the products and started realizing that, oh my gosh, all of a sudden my focus is better. My energy is improved. So I'm able to get the things done that I need to do. I can manage my business and my household and get around to everything that I have on my to-do list, which when you work for yourself, that's a lot. And then I was invited to a networking event by my friend who shared the Transformation Challenge information with me. And I went down and they shared some information about the company. And I've always known that I wanted to travel internationally, but I didn't know how to do that. And, kind of as a business owner, entrepreneur, you're like, oh, how cool would it be to have an international business, right? And you can travel the world and connect with people all over the world and be able to write that stuff off on your taxes. And lo and behold, the company I'd started with for health transformation purposes is actually an international company. We're in 75 countries all around the world. And that really connected with me. And so I'd already gotten my pack of products, to get my best value with it. And then I started exploring the business side of things. I wasn't really interested in another business. I know what it takes to run a business. But what I discovered was when they shared the video for us, I heard about a business that's turnkey. Literally, you get your pack of products that's best for your personal needs, and you have all of the tools in your hands that you need for a business. You have all of the marketing. You have the website that's already designed. You don't have to update products. You don't have to make sure there's supply. I don't have to make sure, how does it get to the client from the manufacturing facility? That's not my responsibility. And there's a phenomenal community of people who I've been able to connect with. And as a business owner who has done it by myself for so many years, I can't even tell you how much value there is in the fact that I'm now in business for myself, but not by myself any longer. I have phenomenal people around me who encourage me, who build me up, who support me, and who are always there for me. If I need to reach out, if I don't know the answer to something or I need help, they're always there. And that's a big deal for somebody who spent 10 years running a traditional business alone. And I have everything that I need at my fingertips, and it's easy, it's duplicatable. I can quickly and easily share with somebody else how to get started. And that is so huge, to be able to leverage somebody else's experience, their circle of influence, and to not have to do everything by myself anymore. And so when I saw that, and I saw the potential to now have that opportunity to go international, to have the ability to bring on other people and tap into their resources, I thought, you know what, how much better does that get? That pack of products I just got for myself for a health transformation personally is now a tax write-off because it's starting a business for me. I have all the tools that I need. I can just share with people because it's helping me personally and it's helping me financially. So I get to help and share it with others. So if any of that sounds like something that you have a need for or an interest in, I would love to answer your question. And if it doesn't, but you know somebody who it does, would you give me an introduction? I would love to help them to find another way to bring in an additional income in a way that they can do it from wherever they find themselves. Because for me, I'm running all the time. And it's so great to be able to do it from wherever I'm at. All right. So there you go. There's two different versions, same me, same story, but two different focuses on that. So
Yeah, and that was wonderful, Michelle. And I encourage everybody, like, if you aren't practicing your story, then how are you ever going to share your story when the time comes? Your friends, your family, the people that's following you on social media, your associates, your co-workers, they need to hear your story. So you have to practice. You have to be willing to practice, you guys. I encourage you. Like, I encourage you to say it to yourself in the mirror, record it, say it, get it down to 2 to 3 minutes, because you gotta be quick. You always gotta remember you don't have much time. And see, if you take 5-7 minutes on your story, then what do you have when you're trying to present what we have? So if you can get it down to 2 to 3 minutes, that was something I had to learn a long time ago. 2 to 3 minutes. Hit the high points. Hit the high points in your story. No, I love how Michelle said, knowing who you're talking to. See, now if you don't know who you talk to, you got to kind of, you can read their interactions if you're on Zoom or in person. But I just encourage everybody, every single body, I encourage you to be practicing on your story. That's for you. You have to do it. It's one of the key things to building a business. If you want to be disruptive in your business, you got to learn how to share your story. Go.
Hey, Ant.
Uh-huh.
If I can interrupt for a minute. Last week when y'all kind of threw me on the spot there, but with you putting the recording up the next day, I was able to listen to my story, and I was able to go through and be like, okay, I can cut this out. I need to add to this. That, like you said, recording it and hearing it, just it's different than being on the spot and having to recall from memory. Oh, what did I say? Was it good or not? You can actually, record. Having that recording from last week helped me out a lot, because I'll listen to it on my drive through. I got a 45-minute drive to work, so I got it saved in my phone. I'll go and I'll pull it up. I'll listen to it and just make little mental notes on my drive. So, and also with Michelle, that was when we did last week. That was the first time I've ever been asked by anybody, hey, is this person interested in product, or are they interested in the business? And the way the video, when I asked the guy about the video, immediately he was, I said, what did you like most about the video? He's like, man, he said, I want to know more about the business. So when I got on the phone with Michelle, when we were texting, that was a question she asked. And I told her, I said, he's interested in the business. So her story that she told was all about the business. We didn't have to go into a lot of product stuff. He was a young guy. I mean, he's not really, he's worried about making money. He's not worried about feeling better. He's 24. He feels good. He feels great. But just to say, that was the first time an upline had ever brought it to me to say, hey, what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with a customer who wants products, or are we looking at a business person? And she did an excellent job at, just telling the business side of her story. Honestly, tonight's the first time I've heard her physical side of her story. So I knew a little bit about it, but makes a big difference when you're talking to somebody if they're not interested in product. I'm not saying not interested in product, but if they're more focused on building.
If they're Chris Doyle, then Chris Doyle is a money man. He loves money. So
exactly.
But so I wouldn't come at him with a lot of products. It wouldn't be a lot. It would be more geared to the Ty Rowland shared with that to us in Arkansas as well. How you transition the presentation to who you're talking to. But I love that, Lance. Hey, that's how you get better. Now you just share it. The more you share it, the better you get. The more comfortable you get. The more unnervous you get. I can share my story without getting nervous anywhere, just because I done shared it so many times. Now the other parts I may get nervous, but on that point. But we did have a topic, like always, that we want to kind of talk about. And tonight's topic we want to talk about is fear. We want to talk about fear. And we learned something very, very powerful. I mean, I know Miss Jane is in there. I know Mac is in there. And so y'all feel free to chime in if y'all got something from these areas we about to dig into. But we want to talk about fear, you guys, because we all deal with it. There's not one soul in the world that tell me they're not afraid of something. And so we want to dive into it. And so which route do you want to go with it? Michelle, go first. Which route you want to go first with it? Do you want to talk about the
do you want to bounce back and forth? You do one, I'll do one, or do you want to one of us go through the things that fear is the absence of, and then you know the other one take the fears that are paralyzing?
All right. Either way works for me. I have so many notes of this guy.
I know. So this training that we went through, well, it's the GoPro Accelerator, and I'm doing the mini version. I know Ant and Mac are doing the full version. Jane, are you doing the give me a one or a two, the mini or the full? The mini. Yeah. Okay, me too. So this training so far has just been tremendous. And he was talking this week about identifying fear and understanding it so that you can overcome it. So Ant, let's just go through, and I'll do fear is the absence of, if you'll do fear is the three types of fear.
Okay.
You got that?
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Okay, so in order to overcome our fears, we need to understand them. We need to understand where it comes from. We need to understand the root of it and what it is that we're actually afraid of. So what we're sharing tonight is from our GoPro Accelerator training that we've been going through. And I don't want in any way to like plagiarize or say these are our ideas. We're passing on the information that we got from you, and want to encourage you guys, want to just share what we've been blessed to receive. So this is from Trent Shelton. And if you haven't followed him on social media, I highly recommend it. He is incredibly inspiring, has some amazing motivation, encouragement, tips, just a really phenomenal guy. So he was talking about fear and how it stops us from achieving what we want in life. That might be a physical thing that it stops us from. Maybe we're afraid to, get out and work out because we've never done it before. That would be this chick. Maybe we're afraid to, start a business because of all of the things in the back of our mind that tells us that we can't. Fear is probably the biggest thing that blocks us from achieving our dreams. It's not that we don't have the knowledge. It's not we don't have the resources. It's fear. And so what fear is basically convincing yourself of an outcome before you've had the experience of it. And there's two acronyms that you can attach to fear. Either it's fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. And you have a choice which way you view fear. Are you gonna face everything and run and rise, or are you gonna fear everything and run? And so we convince ourselves of things that are not gonna happen. Another one is false expectations appearing real, right? That's a real good one for fear. And so what he talked about is that fear is the absence of three things in our life. And the first one is confidence. If you lack confidence in yourself, in your vision, or in your mission, then fear is going to start to creep in. And so the way that we can overcome that is to build your confidence. Deliberate repetition is what he talked about. And that's what we were talking about here tonight with Melissa and with Lance, with retelling of that story, the practice. When you're deliberate and intentional, focused on the micro improvements. How do I get a little bit better every day? When you have that, perfect practice makes perfect. And so as you continue to do the repetition, as you gain confidence in what you're doing, what you're trying to refine the skill in, you are going to build your greatness. And the more you overcome that fear, the more times you come up against it and you move past it, the easier it gets the next time. Doesn't mean it's not there, but it's easier the next time. And then with that confidence is learning to detach yourself from the emotions of it, like detach your emotions from the outcome. We hear that a lot. And, you know, we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform and to be perfect and to, you know, I have to have it totally right before I talk to anybody. Don't worry about that. Just let go of that and do the intentional repetition, practice, get around more people, build that confidence. The second thing is that fear is the absence of courage. You can choose courage or you can choose fear, but you can't choose both. Courage doesn't mean that fear doesn't exist. It just means that you choose to act in the face of it. And so when you have identified what your vision and your purpose is, your mission, so to speak, when that is bigger than you and your mission is great enough, the fear will never be strong enough to keep you from doing it. And so find something, whatever it is, that pulls you through those challenges, through that fear, that is like a magnet that pulls you to the other side. Whatever that thing is, and a lot of people will call it your why. You know, identify that so that you can pursue that, you can work towards that and build that courage as you know, develop the confidence and you choose to act in the face of your fear and show that courage. You will develop the muscles, you know, the kind of internal muscles, so to speak, of overcoming the fear. And then the third thing is that fear is the absence of certainty. How many times have you been unconvinced in your mind, or you hadn't made a decision, or you weren't sure the exact steps to take with something, and so you were uncertain, and fear started creeping in? It started saying, oh, you're not good enough to do that. You don't know enough people. Why would you think that you can go and build a business? You don't have the resources for that. That's that uncertainty that's creeping in. That's those areas of doubt that we have in ourselves that says we're not good enough. But when you make up your mind to do that thing, to pursue it, to better yourself, to step out in your vision, to move forward in your mission, when you make up your mind, there is something fundamentally different about what happens from that point forward. Because a made-up mind is the most powerful mind. And when you make up your mind, whatever that mission is, whatever that goal is, when you have decided from this point forward, I am doing this, you will find a way. And when you do that, Trent talked about something he calls the focus flow method. And I have this awesome meme of a lion on the hunt. And the quote with it says, you get what you focus on, so focus on what you want. Because when you will focus on how you feel, and what you feel becomes the action, and the action will take you to the results you get. So if you're focusing on feeling meh and feeling negative and feeling defeated and feeling like I'm not good enough and feeling insecure, when you focus on that feeling, then that action is going to be to withdraw. And that action is going to become the habit of, oh, I tried that before and it just didn't work. And, I'm not good enough for that. So you withdraw. But if you change that focus, you focus on what you want. You say, I don't know how, but I'm going to find out how. you work on that confidence and that courage, and you create that certainty, and you decide in your mind, you know what? I'm going to build that skill. So I'm going to focus on growing stronger. I'm going to focus on being a more confident me. And you're going to feel that confidence. And as that confidence grows, then you're going to start taking actions that represent that confidence, that represent that decision. And the more you focus on that feeling of confidence and courage and step out with the actions, then that's going to become the habit that creates the results. So if you have confidence, courage, and certainty, and you focus on what you want, fear has no control. It has no control. It has no power over your life. Besides, you weren't given a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. And so focus on those things that you want. Focus on building your confidence, acting with courage, even in the face of fear, and making up your mind so that you can act with certainty and focus on what you want, because you can get it. So Aunt, I'll kick it back over to you so that you can go through the 3 types of fear that are paralyzing to us and how to overcome those.
Thank you so much for that, Michelle, because it always, when you hear it the second time, it actually just, man, it was so powerful listening to it from Trent, then hear it from Michelle. It's so impactful. I thought this might have been one of the best. Well, I think we had like an hour and a half with him. It was one of the best hours and a half I've ever spent getting some training. And so now I get the chance to talk about the 3 types of fear he talked about. And this is something that really, really hit home for me because I could relate. And I'm pretty sure you watching this also can relate. And I say that because the 3 types of fear number 1 was performance fear. You know, the fear of you not measuring up to something, where you not measuring up to the expectation that you have for yourself or others have for you. So pretty much one of those performance fears. Like, so what is it? Are you afraid that I'm an athlete? So I remember when I ran my first track meet, kind of, I remember, and I didn't do so good. It took a while for me to break that barrier to get back out there to really want to race and get it out of my mind. I tell people all the time, and just like Lance will tell you, he's getting trained up for this big Ironman, correct? He's getting trained up for it. But I promise you, his body can be ready for it. But if he's not mentally up here ready, it won't matter. See, and that's what a lot of people see. You got to be mentally here. You may not be good at sharing your story, but you got to tell yourself that, hey, I'm going to get good at sharing my story. I'm going to get good at sharing this business. I'm going to get good at inviting. I'm not saying you got to get good at everything at one time. Pick something and work on it for the next 90 days until you master it. See, you got to be willing to get that fear, see, because it's a fear inside of you, or it's somebody else's fear that's been planted in you. And that's what you see. You gotta be willing to understand. You gotta be willing to impact over impress other people. See, everybody. When I first got started, I wanted to impress everybody. I was like, man, I gotta do this perfect, so they'll join me. What I realized was that was the wrong approach. When I started realizing I wanted to help more people and impact more people and be a blessing to other people, my business began to grow. See, you got to remove you. You got to remember, you got to bring the service and don't worry about the performance. And see, that was something that was big. That was, your value is bigger than you. Your value is very bigger than you. And see, and then he said this, and then I put stars and everything. He said, it's not about you if your mission is bigger than you. See, if it's all about you, you're only going to go so far. But what you're going to have to realize is if you want to make the big bucks and you really want to, be at the top and you want to retire from your job and you want to do everything else, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to remove yourself out of the way and think about other people. Fear number 2, projection fear. See, this is something that I see parents do all the time. See it do it all the time. You want to know how I know I see it all the time? Has your kid ever got up on like maybe the table or the couch and jumping off and you're like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. How many of us have told our nieces and nephews that or our kids that? See, that's the thing. See, you're projecting fear in them. And see, that's also other projections. And that goes on and on and on. How many of us have been told by somebody like, oh no, don't do nothing like that. You know, those things don't work. So that's the second type of fear. Lance is about to do this Ironman. I promise you, there's probably been some people in his life that probably said, man, I don't know if you're ready for that. And see, it's the truth. I remember growing up playing sports and people used to always tell people is like, oh man, I don't know. We playing against them. I don't care. Let's go make it happen. We're going to give it our best effort. And see, when you give it your best effort, it doesn't matter. You eliminate that fear, but your projection fear, sometimes it's either you projecting that wrong fear. Oh, I'm not a good. See, at first I used to always say, I'm not good at speaking in front of other people. And then I had to remove that and say, you know what? I'm going to get better at it. So like, for instance, I printed off this, give you an example. I've never talked in front of more than 300-400 people, but I printed this off and it's a stadium full of people. Because I'm really projecting my reality, not letting that fear of me messing up and getting in front of people. It doesn't matter. But see, now I got to do a different projection, and you got to do the same thing for yourself. It's somebody out there that's afraid to share their story because they think that what they're going to tell somebody, they're going to mess up. It's all right. Nobody was perfect in this world. You don't have to be perfect. So projection fear is number 2. And then number 3, the number 3 fear, you guys, is past fear. I also mentioned how I stumbled and wasn't good in speech class, and for a long time that hindered me. It hindered me all the way through college. I didn't even do so good then because I was letting something else that happened when I was in elementary school hinder me then. And then you just got to draw the line in the sand. What happened in your past happened in your past. What can you learn from it? What can you take from it? And see, that's what a lot of us got to let go. The past happened already. You can't change it. You can't change the past, you guys. You can't be like, all right, let me rewind back and let me go back 10 years and let me redo it over. No, you can't. But what you can change today is you can draw a line in the sand and say, hey, I'm going to go make it happen. Your past is your past, you guys. That is a past fear. Lance is probably, I see his bicycle back there. This is a great example. How many of us know how to ride bicycles? If you know how to ride your bicycle, in the comments, put me or raise your hand. If you know how to ride a bicycle, raise your hand. When the first time you got on that bicycle, did you get on there and you start riding right? No, you failed. So how you going to tell your kids, your grandkids, your niece, your nephews, and all of them to get up and try again when just because you call somebody, you stumbled across sharing your story, now you scared, now you don't want to do it again. See, now you're contradicting yourself. You're letting your past hinder you. See, we all going to fall. We all not going to be perfect. We all going to stumble. We all going to have obstacles. It's what's going to happen. I'm not the best at social media, but I just got better over time. People say, well, what are you doing? I trial and error. Lance said he went and listened to the recording. Listen to yourself. Don't let that past hinder you, guys. And so that was the third one, past fear. See, somebody out there is going through either past fear, projection fear, or performance fear of some kind. See, now it's up to you to decide which one it is that's holding you back. What's holding you back from greatness? What's holding you back from growing the business that you want to grow for you and your family? What is holding you back? See, you got to decide that. I can't decide. I can't say, oh, Melissa, you dealing with you're dealing with this fear. So, that's that this is your fear. No, only you know on the inside what's holding you back. So you got to figure it out. Was it something somebody told you? Was it something that happened in the past? Or is it just you in your mind? Is it you in your mind? Are you lacking the confidence? Are you lacking, what is it? And you know how you build confidence up? You really want to know how you build confidence up? Put action to it. Action. The only way you get better at riding that bicycle was you got back up and got back on there. You didn't build confidence up by sitting on the ground pouting about it. That's just honest to God truth. The only way you get good at something is over time. You build confidence. It's just like anybody who has any kind of job. Michelle, probably her first time taking pictures wasn't the best, but she got better over time. It's the same thing. We all go through that, but you got to be willing to do the action. Be willing to be bad before you're good and good before you're great, you guys. And that is how you build confidence. And that is how you build belief. Because I promise you, a lot of, I'm gonna answer one of these questions here. I seen Michelle, the other Michelle Curb. She said she's having a hard time getting customers. Well, you want to know how to get customers? Put action. Call more people. Be willing to be bad before you good. And good before you great. See, you got to be willing to mess up. Michelle, matter of fact, you can unmute yourself, Michelle. Can you unmute yourself for me? Michelle Curbs on here still. Let's see if I can get Michelle unmuted.
You talking to me or Michelle Cripps?
Michelle Cripps. I want to ask her something here. Michelle, are you there? Oh.
Looks like frozen, maybe?
But the question I was going to ask her is how many people has she talked to? That's always the question I'm going to ask somebody. Who doesn't mind me asking them that question? And they just don't mind, just want to be honest, or do I just pick some? Okay, Lance. How many people have you talked to within the last 7 days?
In the last 7 days, I've talked to 2 people. That's not
Lance is an athlete, so he doesn't mind me bringing the coach, doing the coach part of everything. So Lance, now is your business where you want it to be at?
No, it's not.
So Lance, you're gonna have to talk to more people. You're gonna have to talk to more people. Steve Schwartz said something to me a while back. He's like, "You're just not doing enough. You're just not doing enough." And I didn't get it at first. It still didn't go through. And then Todd said something not too long ago. And so I made a commitment. Now I don't really want to say that because I'm gonna scare some people off because I'm going massive action. Just how many people I'm reaching out to. So if you want to know that, just message me on the side because it might scare some people. Because in order for me to get that repetition and get those conversations going, you're gonna have to talk to people. You need to be starting. Put it like this. How many people do you want to? Everybody can have a number. So pick a number 1 through 30. How many people do you want joining your organization personally within 30 days? And whatever number that is, 1 through 30, that's how many people you need to be starting conversations with on a daily basis. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over. So if you want 30 new customers and reps personally every single month, guess what? You're going to have to start conversations with 30 people every single day. So pick a number that works for you and got to go do the action. That's how you build that's how you build the confidence up. That's how you build the belief up, because you're going to realize that at the end of the day, I don't really like saying it's a numbers game, but it is a numbers game because I care about people. That's why I don't say it's a numbers game. I care about people, so I don't like saying that. But what I want to let you know is you got to get in front of more people. You got to mess up in front of more people. And in front of more people, so you got to be willing to be horrible. That's the only way you're going to get to go outside and ride the bike with your friends. That's the only way you're going to get outside to go play basketball, play football with them or soccer, any of those type of things. Your friends are outside playing, but you still inside because you pouting and don't want to pick up the phone. See, if I talk to everybody like that, see, they can relate to that because they're telling it, they have told their kids that, or they're telling their kids that right now. See, you gotta be willing to do more of it. More. That's the only way you're gonna get to go outside, you guys. That's the only way you're gonna make the varsity team. That's the only way. That's the only way. Michelle, I did Michelle Curbs. I seen your question. I'm talking about right now. So I know you said we're having. I know I don't want this to come off the wrong way. So one, how long have you been in, Michelle? If you don't mind me asking. Michelle?
Looks like she's frozen again, yeah.
Oh, she's frozen? Okay. All right. Well, that's what I want. That's what I wanted to drop off, you guys, because there's somebody else out there that's dealing with the same thing. I'm not having success in my business. No one's joining my business. My team isn't doing anything. Well, one, your team is going to do what you're doing. So if you aren't bringing in new customers, bringing in new reps, it's not going to fire them up. So you're going to have to do more of income producing activities. Well, I don't have anybody to talk to. Well, okay. Well, now you gotta do more of adding people to your list. You got to go out here and find more people. Figure it out. It's social media. There's billions of people in this, trillions of people in this world. Figure it out. Find more people. I love how Michelle did the next door thing. I love how Kim Gray using Facebook Marketplace. There's Facebook groups. You don't even have to leave Facebook if you didn't want to. Go find something you like. Sports, dogs, photography. I bet there's an Iron Man group on there. Go out there and network with other people, co-workers, everybody around you should know what you got going on. You know what they call me here in Dallas? All my friends from school, the Limu Man. Because I didn't care who it was. They call me the Limu Man. But I got a great conversation started now because now they be like, hey, you still doing Limu? Oh, I'm doing New Age ARIIX. And they be like, well, what's that? Because they feel that they missed out on that train. So now it's a whole new conversation with them. But that's what they call me. My brother got my name. My brother has my name in his phone as Limu. He don't even call me Ant. He calls me Limu. But that's what I'm saying. How do we next door have to grow our business? There's a recording that Michelle did. I have the recording. I definitely post it for you, Mike. But it is so pivotal to you if you want to get better at anything, whether it be inviting, whether it be presenting, whether it be making your list. Guess what? You just gotta do more of it.
I used to do unique makeup and I used to do lives. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I used to do lives and put on makeup online on my Facebook group page. And I had customers that day.
I think we lost you again, Michelle.
And that's the problem, I guess. And I do lack confidence.
Well, you breaking up on us.
Michelle, maybe if you can hear us, if you can get with one of us offline, we're having some connectivity issues on your phone. So maybe shoot one of us a message. We'd love to help you with that.
I definitely give me a call and we'll definitely talk a little bit about that. It's just, with lacking the confidence and growing the business is really good.
All right, and I got a couple more things if you're.
Go for it.
I don't want to cut you off because you are on fire tonight, dude.
I'm okay. Hey, I just wanted to share that. I just felt that it just hit me to share that part right there, just so people can get from a standpoint that I think they can understand. Because I think a lot of people are just overthinking it. you know, you don't have to overthink this business. Just treat it like this. The stuff you do in this business, you learned in elementary.
Yeah, it's simple. It's not easy necessarily, but it is simple. And when we are willing to do, I liked what Trent called it. He said, you have to dig up the seeds of fear and doubt by being willing to do the dark work. And what he means by that, the dark work, it's getting in your heart, in your mind, being willing to be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself about what it is that's holding you back, you can't move forward from it. And so when you have some time, if you would write down in your notebook, if you're taking notes, make 3 columns. The first column, you're going to put fear. And underneath of that, in that first column, sit down with yourself and really be honest with yourself and identify what are the fears that are holding you back. Okay, in that second column, you're going to write at the top, who planted it? Who planted that seed of fear and doubt in you? Was it a parent? Was it a teacher, a coach, a boss? Maybe it was yourself. And then the third column, why do I need to dig it up? And go through and figure out, what is it? What's that fear that's holding me back? Where did it come from? And why do I need to let it go? And then you need to give those fears that are not your own back to the person who gave it to you. You don't need to like physically go to them and be like, hey, you gave me this fear. Here you go, have it back. But you need to release it because it's not yours. It's not yours to carry. And what happens when we carry those fears is that we begin to become insecure in ourselves. And so we have to be willing to get in there within our own heart and our own mind and our own habits and identify those things. Because if you don't know what it is, you don't know where it came from, you can't get to the root of it to get it out. And when we start doing that, get in there and dig it out, because you don't need that kind of negativity. You don't need that fear. You don't need that toxicity in your life, and you won't move forward until you can get it out. And it might be a journey, and that's okay. Part of this whole business and what I have discovered in this process is that truly it is a journey to self-discovery, to personal growth, to business growth. You're going to grow in your relationships. I know for me, the physical journey side of it, because of the transformation I've experienced, I'm now able to do things physically that I was not able to do previous to this. And so I am now, with Lance's help, I'm training for a 5K. Like that might seem, to some people like, a 5K, like what's a 5K? To me, that is massive because I was never able to run to the end of the block without feeling like I was going to pass out and it be in so much pain that I couldn't hardly walk the next day. And so as I'm running, even when I don't feel like it, I go out and I run anyway. The wind was like whipping the trees sideways and blowing stuff across my path today, but I went anyways. And what I'm learning is that by building that consistency muscle, even when I don't feel like it, even when I'm tired, I am in the physical by developing habits in the physical. It's a mental game. Like you have to get your mind wrapped around it, but using that physical avenue as a channel for that transformation in the mind, in the habits. Because what I have learned for myself, and this is me being a little vulnerable, is that when I say I'm going to do something and I don't follow through on it, not only can the people around me not trust me to follow through, but I don't trust myself. And if you can't trust yourself, how are you going to grow? How are you really going to step into this with confidence? So I would encourage you to, pick a habit or a trait that you want to develop, that you want to grow stronger in, and start with something simple, a small step that you can take, but choose something that you're going to work on and do it consistently, even if it's hard, even if you don't feel like it, so that you can build that muscle of consistency, so that you begin to trust yourself. And when you can trust yourself, other people will begin to trust you. And then you will gain confidence in yourself as you grow and as you go. Because, the fruit of your life, it's not going to lie. So are you producing the kind of fruit in your life that you want? And does that reflect the confidence and the kind of a person that you want to be? And if it doesn't, get in there and dig out those seeds, because what we plant, that's what grows. And so I just want to encourage you guys to embrace your fear. A lot of times fear is an indication that you're on the right track. Now, I'm not talking physical fear that, there's something physically going to harm you. I'm talking that mental, emotional, spiritual fear. If you are afraid of something because it's intimidating to you or overwhelming, chances are that's the direction you should go. Fear is often the bridge that is disguised as a barrier. And so I would encourage you to run towards that fear. Don't shrink back from it. Don't let it control your life. Identify the root, dig it up, and move forward. Focus on what you want and get that fear out of there. Kick it to the curb. Tell it where it can go. And in your life is not that place. Because you deserve better. We all deserve better, to not have our life controlled by the fear of what if. Those false expectations appearing real. So let go of the outcome. It's a journey and it's a process. And maybe today you stumble. Maybe today you fall down. You didn't do it quite right. You didn't have the strongest workout, but get up and do it again tomorrow. You build that muscle of consistency, that habit over time. And as you do that, you're going to start to see it spilling over into other areas. I've heard it said that how you do anything is how you do everything. So start building those habits that you want to see in your life. Start with the one thing. Don't try to change it all at once. Pick one thing. Work on that. Develop that habit. Develop that consistency. Change that behavior, that mindset. And as you do that with that one thing, and you gain that confidence, and you gain that courage, and you step out and take action, you will find that that's going to start spilling over into how you do other things. And you're going to see yourself start to grow. So we're out of time tonight, but I encourage you to do that exercise. Write down those 3 columns. Be willing to be honest with yourself. Get in there, identify those things so that you can kick them to the curb. Because you are bold as a lion. And tell yourself that. If you don't feel it, speak it. Speak it into existence, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. There is so much power in your spoken word. So don't say to yourself, I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough. I was thinking to myself on my run tonight, I started to think, I'm slow tonight. I'm not very fast. And then I shifted my mind and I said, no, my time tonight is not where I want it to be, but I'm getting better. I'm getting faster. Change the dialogue inside your mind. Speak to yourself with kindness and speak into existence what you want to be. Call it out. Draw it out from within yourself. Say it out loud. Write it on a sticky note. But there's power in your words. So speak with confidence and don't let that fear control your life. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank y'all. Go out there and find that alter ego self. Whatever your alter ego is, go find it. Whatever. Everybody come up with a name. Everybody come up with their superhero, not the villain, but find their superhero. Whatever, you know. Who are you? Who is that person? Who is that alter ego? And all I can think about, I remember when I was in, I'm going to finish off with this. I remember when I was in high school. And I had a nickname. I ran third leg and they called me Go-Getter. Because it didn't matter who was in front of me on third leg coming to get you. I was coming to get you. Coming to get you. I felt I can come get anybody. I didn't care if you was ranked number 1 in the state, ranked number 1 in the world. It didn't matter to me. See, some of us had more courage and confidence when we were younger. And as we got older, life beat us up. You know, we got hit with some punches and, you know, it was bad. Got drawn back down. So go and find that person, that alter ego. Well, when that person goes on, can't nothing stop you. Can't that many no's in the world stop you from going to reach those goals and dreams that you have set for you and your family. That alter ego, you guys, whatever it is, dig deep, find it. Say, you know what? And sometimes you got to turn that switch on and see a lot of. Trent went deep on that one, but I don't want to keep on going but you got to find that alter ego. Make it a non-negotiable situation. Think about it if it was your kids on the other end of that. A lot of y'all have kids. For me, it's my niece and nephews. So for me, it's whatever. I'll do whatever for them. It could be a dog. It could be a person holding a gun on the other side. I'll do whatever to make sure that they're okay. And you would too for your kids. You got to figure out what's going to bring that out of you. Because that's the you that's going to take you to the next level, you guys. I love you. I hope y'all got value from this. And see y'all next Wednesday. And everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good
You're
night.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good night,
Good to
Elena.
see you all.